Welcome to Go Big or Go Home with the Division Manager of Primary Residential Mortgage in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Now, here's the entrepreneur and mortgage extraordinaire himself, James Harper.
What would your mama say?
Go big or go home.
Thank you, everyone, for joining our first ever podcast of Go Big or Go Home. I'm excited today to be here with my very dear friend and strategic partner, Mickey Duncan of EXP Realty. And, we go back a long way in a short period of time. And it feels like we've been old friends. And even though we've only known each other for a couple years, it just seems like old hat, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm excited to have her here today to be our very first guest on Go Big or Go Home. And really what we want to talk about today is what's your story? And but first, before we kind of dive into that, I really want to just see how you got your career started in the real estate business. What made you want to jump into this versus what you did? What's your story as to why you wanted to make a big move?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for having me. So honestly, when I first got into real estate, it was the money that intrigued me.
Sure.
I was doing paperwork for a construction company, and I was doing all the data entry, and I was seeing the commissions that was being paid out by agents. And some of those commission checks were more than I was making in a year at the time. So I was like, hey, I want a little bit of that. So I went to real estate school and got my license and just hit the ground running.
Yeah, and you said an interesting word there, and it's called jump. Mm-hmm. And I think if any of our listeners out there have never watched the Jump YouTube video by Steve Harvey, I would encourage everyone to listen to it, because it is about taking a jump in life, and it's about taking a risk. It's about changing a complete direction 180 degrees from what you did before. And I'm a big fan of people that take that jump and they really want to start something new. And it's scary because sometimes when you jump, you may fall, and it may not feel so good when you fall, and you might fall flat on your face, but you're taking a jump and you're changing the energy, you're changing the mindset, you're changing the state of where you were before. And I think a lot of people that in this day and age, they are doing something that they just can't stand to do. I wake up every day and I love to be in the mortgage business. I love helping people. And I can tell from the energy with you, that's what's kept you in the real estate business. So talk about that a little bit. Talk about what inspires you when you wake up every day, when you made that jump, and how that motivates you as well in your day-to-day interaction with people, your work, and et cetera.
So when I made the jump, I was actually in the medical profession for 24 years, and I did massage therapy for 19 of that, and I was doing real estate part-time. So I would literally work at the doctor's office, do massage. I kept a little black dress and a pair of shoes in my car, because if I had to go show a house, I just got in my car and I slipped on the dress, changed my shoes, and off I went. And I'd done that for a long time. And then I met my husband, Blake. And Blake Duncan.
He's in the studio today.
Yes. So I was really just sort of spreading myself thin, but I had always worked multiple jobs at one time. So after Blake and I met, things sort of shifted in my life. So I quit my chiropractic job, I retired my massage license, and I went into real estate full time after we got married, and I really have just never looked back. But I think I used to wonder, what am I going to do with myself? Is this what I want to do for the rest of my life? So when I finally went into real estate full time, I knew I had found my passion. So really what motivates me every day is just waking up with a grateful heart, loving what I do, being very passionate about what I do. Firm believer, things happen for a reason. So it's not always grand in Mickey land.
Sure.
We have our ups and downs in real
Absolutely.
estate, but I just know that things happen for a reason. So if there's a deal goes south, or if I thought I had a buyer, I thought I had a seller in my pocket, and it didn't work out, I'm just like, that just wasn't meant to be. That obviously is going to bless another agent that needed it more than me. So I'm just really, really passionate about real estate. I love what I do. So I think it just makes it really enjoyable.
So let's kind of rewind a little bit, because you said something there that is very true in any business that you're in out there. To our listeners, it's not always butterflies and all full of smiles and and what have you. So there was probably a time when you first got started when you're like, man, I don't really know if this is something that I want to do. This is starting to scare me a little bit. I feel a little uncomfortable. Was that true for you?
Yes, because as a realtor, if we don't sell a house, we don't get paid. And if we don't get paid, we don't eat. So yeah, it can be scary.
Completely different mindset from a W-2 type of wage.
Right. Working on commission, and there's a lot of great realtors out there, and so yeah, I mean, being commission based in the beginning when I went full time, because I was used to having a weekly salary. A lot had to change. I had to, make sure that I had a budget, and I lived by that, because a lot of realtors were horrible at saving money. So, it takes us 30 days to close a loan. So in 30 days, we'd have that commission check already spent. So yeah, it was sort of a leap of faith.
Okay, so as we talk about leap of faith, and we talk about trusting our intuition, and we start trusting what we believe in and what our highest and best use is for ourselves and what we're capable of. So there came a time when you had a go big or go home moment. And that could have been financially, that could have been spiritually, emotionally. What was your go big or go home moment when you thought, I'm all in, all my chips are put into the pot, it is time for me to go big or go home? And obviously you've prevailed very well in being very successful in this business. But to all the listeners out there, again, what was your go big or go home moment that you could maybe help others who are kind of experiencing some life changes or want to have some life changes in their career? What was your go big or go home moment?
I think it was all or nothing. It was like I knew that I'm the one that had, to make it happen. But I guess maybe knowing, well, what else? It's like when I took that leap into real estate, I knew I had to make it happen. So in the beginning, I treated real estate like a hobby. So therefore, I got paid like a hobby.
Sure.
So once I really started pounding the pavement and calling myself a realtor, putting my realtor hat on every day, I treated it like a job.
Yeah.
It is a job. You can't just get up and hope that a buyer or a seller is going to knock on the door, because they're not. So I think it was knowing, oh my gosh, I've got to keep my pipeline full. So I think that was my sort of big moment.
So did you have a period there when you just turned off the light switch at your other job and said, this is my go big or go home moment. Now it's sink or swim. It's no longer a hobby.
Yes. I had I had a deal that my real estate commission was more than I'd made the whole entire year at my part-time job. And I'm like, holy smokes, I can do this.
Well, I had a very different experience. When I first got in the mortgage business, my first, I'd never forget, I had to split it with another loan officer. And it was an investment property, $45,000 loan. And when I got my first commission check, I made $43.
I'm sorry.
And I thought, oh my God, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
And so my go big or go home moment was I was creating the mortgage business as a hobby. I was an engineer by degree prior to that. And my go big or go home moment is when I realized, similar to yourself, that I could make more in about 3/4 of a year that I made in all my year wages as an engineering manager in this high stressful situation. But I was desperate to get out of a negative mindset or a negative state type of situation. I was bringing it home. I didn't like it. The negativity that surrounded it because I wasn't happy. And for me, I realized that I was chasing all these different jobs in the engineering world to try to find my happiness because I always felt like I was worth more money. Well, this employer's not paying me, so therefore I'm going to go to another employer and they're going to pay me for my value. So maybe I get a $10,000 increase or whatever. And then I'd go there and I'd have this same feeling. And I realized it wasn't that I wasn't necessarily being paid for my value or my perceived value. I wasn't happy with doing what I was doing. It sucked. And I hate, and so that's when I realized I needed to make a jump. And so when I jumped into the mortgage business, I didn't realize that I would like it like I did or like I have. And so my aha jump moment was I'm jumping all out of this business. I'm putting my degree to the side. My career, as I was kind of ramping up and going up the ladder in the corporate America, and people thought I was crazy. I jumped into it in the worst time that you could ever get into the business in 2007, and people thought I was nuts.
Yeah.
So
you are nuts.
Yeah, I know. When did you officially get into the real estate business then?
Oh, well, I've been in the profession for about 20 years because I worked some new construction, did some real estate staging, but I have actually been a licensed realtor for about 15 years.
15 years. And what do you think? So now you're with EXP, and pretty awesome platform.
Absolutely.
And it's a not revolutionary, but it is a new concept out in the real estate marketplace where you can basically receive different revenue streams, not only from selling real estate, but for also recruiting agents and mentoring agents. Tell us a little bit about how EXP works, because that's been part of your growth.
Yes.
Not only just the real estate itself, but the company that you're currently working for and how that has helped give you additional revenue streams.
So EXP is sort of, the word EXP is sort of new around Nashville, but we are actually 10 years old. We just celebrated 10 years. So 2 years ago, EXP was brought to me and Blake, actually brought to Blake first. And I really, to be honest, didn't want to have anything to do with it because the company I was with, I was very happy. Only real estate company I'd ever been with. So I tried to pick it apart, tried to find the loopholes. Took me about 6 months, and then I just knew, I had an aha moment that I felt like I was going to be left out. I was going to miss the train. So I joined 2 years ago. I have had the best 2 years of my real estate career. Blake and I are husband and wife team. Have spouses selling houses.
I love it. I love it.
So we have an opportunity to make 100% commission. Could not do that with my former brokerage. So after a short few months, we actually hit 100%. And that's called capping. So once your commission paid into EXP totals $16,000, then you cap and you go to 100%. Once you cap, we have another level that we can hit, and that's called Icon, which Blake and I just hit.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank
that
you.
Is a fantastic honor. I was going to bring that up here in a few minutes. But
yes.
You beat me to it.
So once you cap and you sell 20 more houses, you become an Icon agent. then that whole $16,000 that you have paid into the brokerage comes back to you in the form of stock. So EXP is a publicly traded stock company, and then as an agent, we have another form of stock as well. So that is building our retirement.
Yes.
So that $16,000 just came back to us in stock and has gone into our retirement fund. So it's an amazing company. Absolutely changed the financial future of our life.
That I tell you what, that is. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
I mean that, and Blake as well. That is just awesome that you have reached that kind of status. You've worked really, really hard. We've been happy to be along on that ride with you. But we're super excited the fact that you have reached that kind of level. We know there's a lot bigger things in store coming up here in 2020, and that's just really awesome. So one thing that we need to know about Mickey is she was also voted the Nashville's nicest person. I'm a little curious how this all came to play, how it was or how you were notified, or how it come to fruition. So explain and when and how and where this great award was given to you by and voted Nashville's nicest person.
Well, there have been days that has been a hard reputation to keep up with. So I was actually nominated anonymously. The Tennessean contacted me and said, "You have been nominated Nashville's nicest person." And I'm like, "What?" So there were 6 of us. I did not know who the other 5 were. Tennessean came to my house and did an interview and said, "Hey, we'll contact you back, in a couple of weeks." And I was like, "Yeah, whatever. I probably won't hear back from these people." And sure enough, they contacted me and said, "You've been voted Nashville's nicest person." It has been an honor. I just be honest. It has served me well. So
what year was that?
That was 2010.
2010.
Yeah, 2010, I think it was. So at the doctor's office that I worked at, I was there for 18 years. So those patients were like family. And there was a big CPA firm here in Nashville. And I was very close to the owners, and they were also some massage clients of mine. And one of the owners passed away. So I was at his funeral, and his wife came up to me and said, "I just want to let you know how much he thought of you, and he was the one who nominated you Nashville's nicest person."
Oh, wow. That is awesome.
So, yeah,
well,
it's been an honor.
So we, you and I talk a lot about not only just real estate and mortgage, but life. And we see a lot of people out there. We talk to a lot of people that are struggling to make ends meet, and struggling just to figure out what their next step is. And we get personally attached to that. I think we both have definitely a sensitive side, even though we can get frustrated at some of the steps that it takes to get them to the finish line on buying a house. At the end of the day, we're really passionate about trying to help people out and get them into a better position, especially home ownership. So what I've recognized in our partnership with each other is that compassion that you have with your clients. And I got to tell you, that really separates you from a lot of the other real estate agents that are out there. And it's not that you, because sometimes you're also being very direct with them. Sometimes you're crying with them, and sometimes you're laughing, and there's a relationship that develops really, really quickly with your clients. And that's what doesn't go unnoticed to the outside world. And it doesn't surprise me that you're at the icon status that you are, and how your business is continuing to build and grow because of who you are as a person. So what do you think your biggest compliment is and your biggest value-added service when you meet with a client first time? And how do you build that instant rapport with him?
Thank you for saying that. I think that's why you and I work so well together, is because we're very passionate about what we do. When I meet with someone, I think they know I'm not about the fluff. I'm always straightforward. This is what I can do for you. This is what I will do for you. I just let them know right up front that this is what you can expect from me, and then I follow through with that. I'm very loyal. So I think I don't know, I'm not going to say that, my loyalty sets me apart from other agents, but I think when you lead from the heart, and I tell all my mentees that, I have 16 agents that I mentor, and I tell all of them, I'm like, if you do what's right, you follow your heart, you lead from your heart, then you won't beat yourself up if something goes south. But when I meet with my buyer or my seller, I'm always honest with them. I always try to find out what's most important to them. Okay, listen to what they want. And if sometimes it's not attainable, if and we all know that they, might be approved for 300 and want to look at 4, and we have to keep them on the path. So when I get like my reviews from my past clients, all of them say, that Mickey treated us like family. I do get very emotionally attached. But then again, I think that's why we have a 99% referral-based business, is we build a relationship with our people, and we treat them like we want to be treated. It's not a transaction. It's not, oh, well, we want to get paid at the end of the day or whatever. We're building that relationship. And I think just making that client feel number one is very, very important.
Yeah, and so we're going to kind of switch horses here a little bit, because and we'll get more about how you got started and things of that nature. I see a lot of, probably one of my biggest faults in people is I see their potential before they see the potential in themselves. And I've been very guilty of investing time and or money into people that don't see their own potential. But I also see, on the other hand, I see where people, they really want to take that chance to do something different, but they're not. They have a problem being self-motivated. So they may say, "Hey, I would love to be a realtor. Okay, I'm going to go get my real estate license." And as soon as they get that real estate license and they've got that piece of paper, they have that license. Now all of a sudden, the pressure's on for them to be, their own boss. So on a day-to-day, kind of walk us through a day in life of Mickey Duncan and how you motivate yourself and how you organize and give your step-by-step to-do list per se, so that and then keep you on track for doing. I mean, this is a crazy business. We all get off track, but for those out there that just have a problem or a challenge motivating themselves because they need that boss, obviously the mentor-mentee program helps with EXP, which most real estate companies don't have that. So if you are interested in getting the real estate business, I would recommend talking to Mickey. She has a mentor program that can help motivate you and coach you and kind of be your boss. But for you didn't have that. Nope. So whether it's in the real estate business or if you're trying to get into a multi-level marketing program or the mortgage business even, walk through how you motivate yourself and get up in the morning and develop your task list type of thing.
I do think most realtors need to know their why they're doing real estate. what motivates them. Is it money, or is it building relationships? Or I think a lot of people, like you said, they just jump in it because they see other realtors being successful and getting paid. But there's a lot that goes into it in order, to make that happen. But as far as the day-to-day task of Mickey Land is,
so what do you do? Do you have like a hit list? Do you have, okay, here's my networking of events I'm going to go to for the week? Kind of just lay out some of the things that you do to keep things top of mind.
So I am very old school. I write everything down. I do not have a CRM. I write all my people in my day timer. I do keep up with that every single day. But I do something real estate related every single day.
Yes.
Every day.
Yeah.
So if, say, like the fourth quarter of the year always seems to be, the slower part of the year for Blake and I. So if we are not showing houses or listing houses, then we are planting seeds. We are talking to people. We're following up with people. We're loving on our past clients. We are very big on staying in constant contact with our past clients. But I think if you do have to have a system, and with EXP, because we are a cloud-based business, we get to work from home. That can be bittersweet because, when you work from home, you're doing laundry, you're fixing a sandwich, you're taking the dogs out, whatever. And then before you know it, it's lunchtime. So I think you have to be very disciplined. You do have to sort of have a structure. So whenever I get up in the morning, I am a big advocate of social media. So usually the first thing I do is check all my social media because I get a lot of referrals from Facebook. And it's just organic. I don't boost ads. I don't buy leads or anything. It's all organic. So I always check that because usually about 3 times a day, I will have someone through the night that has messaged me about real estate, whether they're wanting to get their license or buy or sell. So that's really the first thing I do. And then, like I said, if we're not out showing houses and pounding the pavement, then I'm in front of my computer, just sort of keeping up with my past clients. We do, client appreciations. And
I do want to kind of interrupt you there. I think you do a great job of connecting on social media really well between the liking of things, of comments or pictures or people. But really it's about the engagement that you try to have with each and every person in some kind of way. And I think you do a great job of that. I think you do a great job of that, and that definitely pays off in that aspect of things. So sorry to interrupt you, but go ahead if you have anything else there.
Well, I think it just goes back to what I said earlier. If you treat real estate like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. So you have to do something on a daily basis. Keep yourself, in front of mind of other people. When they think real estate, they think Mickey and Blake Duncan. Yeah,
and I always tell all my loan officers and my staff, especially loan officers, you have to be doing something every day. It may not feel like it's paying off. It may not, you may not feel that instant gratification of a sale, or you might not feel that instant gratification of having the money in your pocket. But if you don't do something every day, whether it's make a phone call, an email, I think you said it best, a follow-up, then you will have challenges being successful in a self-motivated business.
I agree.
So for all those out there getting started in whatever business you have, that you're your own boss, 2 things that I would suggest there is, first of all, do something every day, no matter how small or how big it is, and do it for more than 4 hours in that day. And second of all, when you can, get a coach, get a business coach, get a life coach. That will help keep you motivated. And there's a lot of them out there, and some good, some not so good. You can look at the reviews. Certainly there are those coaches out there. Everybody needs a coach in life. I think that's a common phrase that we heard from one of our coaches. So I would just encourage you to, if you don't feel like you're self-motivated enough, but have the passion to do whatever that new business is that requires you to be your own boss, don't feel afraid to ask for help, and that can be in the form of a coach.
Absolutely.
You guys have had coaches in your life. I have coaches in my life. Do you think that changed your mindset when you had or have had a coach?
Yes, absolutely. We had a phenomenal coach for a season in our life. It served us very well. We had phenomenal growth. So yes, it's just sort of giving you things to do, holding you accountable. So yes, I feel like everyone needs a coach.
So loving on your past clients. I think that probably one of the biggest things, especially in the real estate and even in the mortgage business, I'm very guilty of it and trying to do a better job of it, is loving on your past clients. And we have the tendency to, again, look for that instant gratification of the next opportunity. But when you forget about the past clients that already are somewhat of a advocate for you, then you're really missing out on a lot of opportunity and people that already believe in your product or service.
Right.
So follow up, past clients. How important is that to you?
Oh, it's the core of our business. And like I said, it's why we are 99% referral based, because we reach out and we touch all of those clients. Just a couple of days ago, I went all the way back for 13 years and sent every single one of our clients a little magnet with a notepad on it. And I wrote a little note on every single one of them all the way back from 2013. So I think it's huge. It's just keeping you in their mind. Like I said, when they think of real estate, they're going to think about us, because we're always loving on them.
So one of the things when we first met, and I think our paths crossed for a reason, and Mickey came into one of our headshot events, our marketing events at our branch, and she kind of bopped in and with her contagious laughter and smile, and we instantly started talking about real estate, business, and more importantly, strategic partnerships.
Yep.
And neither one of us really had that at the time, or maybe knew what it really meant. And I have to say, in my 12 years plus experience in the business, I've never truly felt a strategic partnership like I have with Mickey and Blake both. And it's changed my thought. It's changed my mentality on expectations. It's changed my mentality on wanting to give back. It's changed everything when you know you have somebody on the other side of the coin that is a very big part of the overall real estate transaction, that is an advocate for you and is in your corner, so to speak, and that person or that partner feeling the same in return. So tell me share with me your history of strategic partnerships or that feeling there that I just explained.
Honestly, never really had it till we met you.
Yeah. We're gonna hug it out here.
It's a love fest.
We're gonna hug it out right now.
So, I mean, you're right. I think having a strategic partner is a connection. I think there's a big trust factor there as well. So once I sort of started working with you and seeing, how James Harper and company worked, your whole entire staff, I was pleasantly surprised, because before, we're just working with other people in the industry. I never really had that. I never felt like I could call and say, hey, what's up with this? Or so I think having a strategic partner that is a give and take. It's not, I'm always sending you business. When are you going to send me? That's what was always what I had in the past. I'd have all these people who wanted to take me to lunch and, for coffee or whatever, but it was always about, what can you do for me? I'm like, well, what can you do for me? If I send you somebody, I'm going to...
What did I do for you?
You sent me a client on my birthday.
That's right. That's right.
You thought I forgot.
That's right.
But so you don't forget those things.
That's right.
And then just after, it didn't take very long,
Sure.
for us to really connect and become friends and trust each other. And, and I don't want people to think, oh, well, we're just friends, so that's why I give you my business, because it's not that at all. Because as you know, I can call and raise the roof if I think, if I think something's going, not going right with my clients. So, I always appreciate y'all being on top of things and always getting us to the closing table and getting us clear to close, usually 6 to 8 days early. I love that.
Yes.
So, but just to answer your question, I think it's the whole give and take thing, and being equal and knowing that we both have goals and trying to help each other reach those goals, and it's just not one-sided.
Yeah. So, what do you think? We're going to probably wrap this up here and just have a couple more quick questions. And man, we could just go on for hours talking. So, what do you think your takeaway is, or what advice would you give our listeners today on going big or going home? If they are down on their luck, if they maybe don't have enough money to rub two pennies together to make ends meet, what would be your advice in taking that jump? What are just some easy things that they could get started with to start the transition of doing something different?
I think it goes back to your why you want to do that. And, it has to be the real why. And, if you don't have two pennies to rub together to start making things happen, I mean, if you're thinking of real estate, there's a lot of tools and things that realtors can do that's free. And one of the biggest things is social media. So it doesn't cost you a dime to advertise on social media and, get clientele built up. But, if you're out there and you do want to take the jump to change career, I just think you need to have more faith than fear. You can't have faith and fear at the same time.
That's good.
So, and everybody knows that fear is false evidence appearing real.
That's
so
right.
you just have to get over that and take the leap of faith and just say, I'm going to do it. And I see others do it, and I know I can do it, and do it wholeheartedly. Do it from the heart, and just plant seeds and pound the pavement.
Well, most wealthy entrepreneurs, business people in this world, and you'd be surprised out there how many have failed.
Yeah.
How many have filed bankruptcy multiple times? How many have just lost in their businesses, have continued to fail, but there's a very big word that's a part of those individuals' vocabulary, and that's called fortitude. And fortitude is the ability to get back up when you're down. And so I think a lot of people are just kind of scared of failing.
Yeah.
And what the perception is to their family, to their community, to their family and friends, if I fail.
Yeah.
And so the message I want to give to all our listeners today is do not be afraid. Please take a chance. Better yourself. Get out of your negative state of energy in whatever job you may be in. It always amazes me that people continue. You get one chance on this earth to be happy. You get one chance. And when we spend the multiple percentage of our time at our job doing something that we hate, that always amazes me. And so the purpose of this entire podcast is to give encouragement to those out there. We hope you got a lot out of today. Thank you so much, Mickey Duncan, for being here. If you have any real estate needs, Mickey Duncan, what's your website?
MickeyDuncanRealtor.com.
And we would love to have you go out, reach out to her on Facebook at Mickey Duncan. You can find her real easy. She's always out there traveling around on social media. Again, this is James Harper, Primary Residential Mortgage. We're glad you tuned in today, and check back with us later.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Primary Residential Mortgage, Inc., NMLS 3094. James Harper, Division Manager, Primary Residential Mortgage, Hendersonville, Tennessee, NMLS 71317-131 Saundersville Road, Suite 140, Hendersonville, Tennessee 37075. Primary Residential Mortgage, Inc. is an equal housing lender. Some products and services may not be available in all states. Credit and collateral are subject to approval. Terms and conditions apply. Programs, rates, terms, and conditions are subject to change and are subject to borrower's qualifications.